Okay, YouTube world, I need a hand. As you can see from the pile sitting on the bench here, I have hit the jackpot of microphone adapter plugs. Now, and I got these things for a steal. All of the ones on the left are different. They were made by a company, or actually the company's still in business. It's Mura, M-U-R-A. But these were made back in the 1970s. I did a patent search on it and did find that there was a patent applied for, or was issued back in the 70s for these things, and it has since expired a long time ago. But anyhow, they're microphone adapters. And like I say, all of these are different. All of these are, excuse me, are duplicates. I would like to start using these, but the one thing that's kind of holding me up is the pinout. What I'm looking for is there anybody like me that is a hoarder that never throws anything away that would happen to have an application guide for these things? If you happen to have been a dealer back in the 70s or maybe even the 80s that sold these things and happened to stash away that little card or booklet that I would assume probably hung on the display when you sold these, but I cannot find anything online. I have looked, and yeah, it's not happening. And they're really nice plugs. And I work on a lot of older radios. I mean, I work on modern production radios, but I work on a lot of older stuff, especially old tube type stuff. And man, this is the cat's meow when it comes to old time radio plugs. Because you can see the different styles. Some of these things, you've got some of your oddballs that you just don't see anymore. There's phone plug style jacks. Your standard push indent style like you'd see on a realistic. The twist lock. DIN plugs, like here's a 5-pin DIN with the, it's like somewhere between an 1/8 and a 1/4 turn locking ring. They're just like a Tram D201 would use, and actually that's what the input is on these. It is the 5-pin DIN with the, like somewhere between an 1/8 and a 1/4 turn locking collar. I don't remember actually how far they turn. It's somewhere in between, I think. Yeah, I guess that's about a full 1/4 turn, somewhere in there. But in any case, yeah, so what I'm looking for is if anybody has an application guide, because, I could go through and do a pinout on these things. That's a lot to do pinouts on, but that's no biggie. A little bit of time with an ohm meter, or actually just a continuity tester would be the quickest way. I could do that, but even then, once I figure the pinout, I've got to go basically spend the rest of my life going through, 290... trying to think what the hell are there in the Sam's Manual series, 290, well actually, I guess honestly these things are 70s and 80s, yeah, I probably wouldn't have to go through all of the Sam's Manuals, but pretty much most of them, so probably 200 and at least up into the high 200s, the mid to high 200s of the Sam's Manuals, the CB Service series, to basically go through, find my pinout for these plugs, and then go through and look at every single schematic for every CB radio ever made back then to try and figure out what each of these plugs fits. Now, there are a few of these for sale on eBay, so I got a little bit of a head start. I got this many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of all of these plugs. Yeah, I know what they fit. But that's pretty much it. And they were called Mura MikeMate. Well, it's shown up with, yeah, Mura MikeMate. But like I say, if somebody had to, oh man, I'm on my hands. I know you can't see me; the camera's looking at them. But I'm on my hands and knees begging if somebody knows where I could find that information. It would, oh, you're going to save me so much time. And if I can't, that's just what I'll end up doing. Actually, what I'll probably do is I would end up doing the pinout on them, writing it down, and then every time I work on a radio, if I find a radio I don't already have one of these identified for, I could go pull out my pinout chart and look to see which one would, be the correct one to use with the radio that I'm currently working on. It would just be nice to be able to just look at a chart, go, oh, I need A12, go over, grab A12. There's no figuring it out. And the nice thing about having all of these extras, I can convert a lot of these over to work with more modern, some of the more modern radios. Because like you can see, I have one disassembled here, and all of these that are nice and shiny actually started out looking like all of these, old and crusty, and have been sitting in a cardboard box for the last 30 plus years. Spider webs included. As you can see, somebody has definitely made a home inside of that one. So these were all cleaned up. Yeah, I spent a long time cleaning these things up. But like I say, as you can see, they come apart really simply. 3 screws. They split in half. It's not like the modern ones where the ends go in from either end and there's just a screw holding the pieces in. You have to kind of fiddle with the wires and twist them to get them in. These are nice and easy. Like I say, you just take those, split the 2 halves, and there, you wire it up and just install it in the plug. Now, like I say, you can see how they install, so I can actually take some of the more modern, I'd be able to adapt over some of the, the more modern, like 8 pins and some of the other plugs into these, these over to work with more modern radios. But, yeah, if anybody's got a clue, if you were a dealer, or just happened to have it, you picked up that reference material somewhere, let me know, because, man, I could really use it. It just saved me so much time. So, the call goes out to YouTube and old CB radio fans. If anybody's got Mura MikeMate adapter application charts, please let me know. It would be greatly appreciated. Shoot, I'd even buy it if you had one. I'd pay for a copy.